you. Senator Klobuchar.
This is why Senator Thune is the leader. We like that. Welcome. Thank you. We talked in my office about how I truly believe that if we're going to lead the global economy, and I know you share this belief, that we must make stuff, invent things, export to the world. And we've made huge bipartisan progress on that front. Not everything has been done. We all know that. And we want to continue America's lead and competitive edge. One way we've done that, and Senator Cantwell asked you about this, is about groundbreaking investments in chips and semiconductors. Despite being the land of 10,000 lakes, I've actually never called about fish to the Commerce Department. But I have talked about these issues. And so I just want to follow up on her question, and just that, Secretary Raimondo has done admirable work, I think, for both sides of the aisle on this, and if you are going to continue to operate the CHIPS program.
It is vital for America that we bring semiconductor manufacturing to the United States of America. We need domestic manufacturing. The CHIPS Act was an excellent down payment to begin that process. We need to study it, but we need to make sure that you get the benefit of the bargain and domestic manufacturing of semiconductors happens in America.
Got it. But are you going to keep operating this? Because as the Senator mentioned, there are funds that have to be distributed. There's work that has to be done coming out of that law.
Oh, I expect to do enormous work to make sure you get the benefit of the bargain. We get the money out appropriately, correctly, and we build in America. That is vital. We've done it bipartisan, and I'm going to help execute that.
Good. So you're concerned about the freeze that happened? The proposed freeze would have affected that program. It's now on hold, temporary hold, because of a judge. But are you concerned about that?
Well, I get it. Lets me have the time to A, be confirmed, and B, dig in and study all of the documents that we've done so I can help get it out the door and get it done. We need manufacturing. I agree. We need manufacturing semiconductors in America, and I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen.
Great. Your life story is incredible. Your motivation of your employees after this incredible tragedy. You and I talked about the Commerce Department, and some of the people that went to work there went for other reasons than your employees. They're not making as much money. And I personally have worked with the people who do trade enforcement for steel dumping. Both Vice President Vance and I share mines, and we care about this a lot, iron ore mines. And it made a big difference over 2 presidents' administrations when this enforcement, President Obama, Trump, Biden actually, was continued. And I met with who will be your employees, if confirmed, about this, 100 of them, and heard about the work that they did. How are you going to motivate those employees? Because I think they're feeling very much under pressure, and some of them have expertise that if they leave, it's going to be really hard just to hire someone because they're not going to make as much money in the government as they might somewhere else.
I think the members of the Commerce Department are extraordinary. We have extraordinary scientists, extraordinary people with deep intellect and deep knowledge, and my job is going to be to leverage them, to make them feel heard, and we were going to be responsive, and we will create a great Department of Commerce that the people feel respected, heard, and their knowledge used to the betterment of America, which is why they're there, and they're going to know that I support them.
Thank you. We talked about tariffs briefly, targeted or across the board. I gave you my preference toward targeted tariffs for economy. Weigh in on that.
I prefer across the board. I think when you pick one product in Mexico, they'll pick one product. We pick avocados, they pick white corn, we pick tomatoes, they pick yellow corn. All you're doing is picking on farmers, which is just not going to happen. My way of thinking, and I've discussed this with the president, is country by country, macro. Let America make it more fair. We are treated horribly by the global trading environment. They all have higher tariffs, non-tariff trade barriers, and subsidies. They treat us poorly. We need to be treated better. We need to be treated with respect, and we can use tariffs to create reciprocity, fairness, and respect.
I'm sure we'll be discussing this more. The last thing, just the broadband funding in the bipartisan infrastructure law. All of us on this committee has worked on things like improving mapping. Senator Wicker and I worked on that. You're welcome. And the the work that must be done on getting broadband to some of the farthest corners of our country. We have an investment, once-in-a-generation investment out of the bipartisan infrastructure law. And again, the freeze would have affected this work, temporarily on hold. Talk about your support for broadband.
Well, they haven't, you passed the bill and they haven't put out any of the money, or nobody's gotten broadband. So it's time for a new Commerce Secretary to get broadband out to people and give you the benefit of the bargain. I want to give the Congress the benefit of the bargain, which is you appropriated money for broadband. Let's get it in their hands and let's do it. The pause just gives me time to A, be confirmed, and B, to study it, get the team working on it, and then when that pause ends, to get it out the door and get it done.
Okay, I'm out of time. Thanks.
Thank you. Senator Wicker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.